ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everyone at home, and welcome to the first semi-final program of the International Quran competition. This competition, as you know, started off with 40 contestants from all around the world, and only 12 out of the 40 have made it through to the semi-final stage. Now, over the next 2 weeks, starting from today, we will hold the semi-finals to see who out of the 12 remaining contestants will go through to our grand finale, which will be held on the 13th of December, inshallah. At this stage, we would like to sincerely thank all of the contestants that took part and sent us their recordings. So jazakumullah khairan to all of you. It is a competition at the end of the day, and unfortunately, not everyone can make it through to the final. The competition was set up with a spirit of fastabiqul khairat, and we hope the rest of this competition inspires all of us and further inculcates the love of the Holy Qur'an within each of us, which was initially the aim of this program. That being said, let's now begin today's program. As usual, I am joined by our judges. We have Hafez Osman Sahib here in the studio, and joining me over online, Hafez Shafruddin Sahib from Ghana and Hafez Wahab Sahib from Canada. Assalamu alaikum, and a very warm welcome to both of you, gentlemen.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
Now, today's program is split into 2 rounds. For round 1, we asked our contestants to send us a recording of the verses we announced last week from Surah Bani Israel, verses 106 to 112, and we will listen to those shortly. And in the second round, or the second half of the program, our contestants will join us live on air and will be given a portion of the Holy Quran during the program today. They will have some time to prepare, and then they will have to recite that portion live to our judges and to you at home, the world as well. There's one more thing that we wanted to clarify for all viewers watching and our contestants taking part today. In last week's program, we announced 6 verses from Surah Bani Israel. Now, because of the different styles of the recitations, some read slower and others do a little bit faster, some do repeat, some don't. So we have allocated 3 minutes in total to each of those contestants. And once those 3 minutes are up, we will simply fade down their recitation and move on to our judges for some comments. Now, that's pretty much it from my side. Let's start today's competition with the first round of this week's semi-final program. First up, in round 1, we will listen to the recitation sent in to us by Hafez Osman Sahib from Burkina Faso, and then continue with the program.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل. وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا. وقرآنا فرقناه لتقرأه على الناس على مكث ونزلناه تنزيلا. قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا.
Jazakumullah salat to Hafez Naeem Sahib from Burkina Faso. Hassam, I would like to ask you to give some comments about this recitation. But before we do, I think we should have clarified this before the recitation was played. In these verses, you will also find one command of sajda. So for the benefit of our listeners and for the viewers at home, if you can talk us through what the proper procedure is, and specifically in this competition.
I think this is quite good question. There are 15 places of prostration of Tilawath in the Holy Qur'an, and this is one of them in Bani Israel, basically in verse number 110, and the subject starts from verse number 108, and it continues, and the culmination of that is come to وَيَزِيدُهُمْ خُشُوعًا at the verse number 110. Now, there are certain commandments of the Holy Qur'an, direct commandment. For example, Ya Yuhanna Su'budu Rabbakum, O people, worship your Lord. And some are commandments indirect. You know, for example, if there is a yu'minuna bil ghaib wa yuqimuna salata or yu'minuna bima unzila, these are the attributes or the good deeds of the believers. So this is basically indirect commandment for us that we should do. We should imitate them. We should also be behaving like that. So for example, with regards to the prostration of that, once that fasjudu lillahi wa'budu, that you should prostrate and worship, that is the direct commandment. Now in this case, whereas the subject is telling us that the believers, they should do that. Whenever إِذَا يُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ يَخِرُّونَ لِلْأَذْقَانِ سُجَّدًا, you know, their etiquettes or their life has been mentioned, that what is their action at that time. So as I mentioned that these are the 15 places, and that was the sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his companions to offer sajda tilawat in bodily position as well. And but this is not a compulsory. It is a rewarding, greatly rewarding. There is a thawab for that. Yeah. But for in certain condition, there are, for example, if we are listening to those verses, or if we are reading at that time when we are unable to do that in bodily, then that is there is no sin on that one. Yeah. It's a good, but no sin. Now in this case, for example, there is only one sajda, and the prayer taught by the Holy Prophet ﷺ is that Allah, many prayers, 4 or 5 prayers, but one is very famous, Allahumma sajada laka ruhi wa jasadi wa janani. Remember, the ruhi, depends on my soul. And after that, bodily, wa jasadi wa janani. So basically 2 indications for the soul to prostrate that. And one indication in between, ruhi and wa janani, is jasadi. So it is good if we do that bodily, but main is our heart should prostrate, and if we have that chance, we can do that.
Hassam, I'm going to have to move on, and the comments to Hafez Naeem Sahib. So for the next round, for round 2, which verses are you going to Hafez Naeem Sahib?
First, should I comment on this or no? It's okay.
30 seconds,
okay.
if you really
don't.
Okay,
mashallah, really Hafez Sahib has recited quite well. But in verse number 106, I think he missed al-mad al-munfasil, that is a detached prolongation. In verse number 108, he did that very well, but he missed that one. So that is one of the important, because if he's taking that option could be taken in all examples. Otherwise, it is quite good.
And what verses is Hafiz going to recite in the next
Hafiz Sahib is given Bani Israel, same chapter Bani Israel, but verse number 24 to 26.
24 to 26. Hafiz Naeem Sahib, if you're watching this program, then Surah Bani Israel verses 24 to 26 have been selected for the next round. Jazakallah Sahib. Up next, we have Hafiz Abdul Samad Ahmad Boateng Sahib. Let's listen to his entry.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا وقرآنا فرقناه لتقرأه على الناس على مكث لتقرأه على الناس على مكث ونزلناه تنزيلا قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا ويخرون للأذقان يبكون ويزيدهم خشوعا.
Jazakumullah Hafiz Abdul Samad Boateng Sahib. I will go to Hafiz Shafuddin Sahib in Ghana. Hafiz, your comments, and also for the next round, what verses are you giving to Hafiz Abdul Samad Ahmad Boateng Sahib, please?
جزاكم الله أحسن الجزاء. Hafiz Abdul Samad Boateng, may Allah bless you. I think I have only 3 comments on his recitation. In the first verse that he recited, Nadhira, he overprolonged the mad here, which is supposed to be maddu tabi'i. He say Nadhira, which is not correct. He's supposed to prolong it for not more than 2 seconds. And then the second one is, he also prolonged the same prolonging. He overprolonged لِتَقْرَأَهُ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَقُرْآنًا فَرَقْنَاهُ لِتَقْرَأَهُ عَلى النَّاسِ. He said لِتَقْرَأَهُ, which is not correct. And the last is قُلْ آمِنُوا بِهِ أَوْ لَا تُؤْمِنُوا. Tu'minu, the Hamza here has jazm, tu'minu. But he made it dhamma. He said tu'uminu, which is not correct. I think he should look at it in his next recitation. He should take very good look about that. And the verses that he will recite is taken from Surah Hud, verses 115 to 116. I wish him very good luck, inshallah.
Jazakumullah Sanza Hafez Shafuddin Sahib and Hafez Abdul Boateng Sahib. As you've just heard, the verses for you for the next round have been announced. Next up, we have Hassam Nageeb Sahib from Syria. Let's listen to his tilawat first.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا وقرآنا فرقناه لتقرأه على الناس على مكث ونزلناه تنزيلا قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا ويخرون للأذقان يبكون ويزيدهم خشوعا قل ادعوا الله أو ادعوا الرحمن أيما تدعوا فله الأسماء الحسنى ولا تجهر بصلاتك ولا تخافت بها وابتغ بين ذلك سبيلا وقل الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا.
Jazakumullah Sanza to Hassam Nageeb Sahib from Syria. Hafez Wahab Sahib in Canada, I would like to go to you. And if you can give us your comments about his tilawat and also what verses have you chosen for Hassam Sahib for round 2.
Jazakumullah Ahsan al-Jaza. Mashallah, very beautiful, soothing voice. Though he can improve in the area of sound, that instead of reading in the same pitch, he can experiment with low and high pitch sounds. As far as other rules of tajweed are concerned, there are few places where he should have prolonged more, like litaqra'ahu, so he should have given more time to, because it's like vowel sound. And similarly, in tajweed we also have a rule that whenever we have mim and noon with tashdid, we hold our voice there for some time. So he pronounced, for example, ajamma. So here on mim he should have held his sound for some time. So these are the areas he can improve on. For the next round, I would request him to read verse number 1 to 7 of Surah Al-Mu'minun.
All right, Jazakallah Hafez Wahab Sahib to Canada. Next up, we will listen to Ridwan Kehinde Moshood Sahib from Nigeria.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا وقرآنا فرقناه لتقرأه على الناس على مكث ونزلناه تنزيلا قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا ويخرون للأذقان يبكون ويزيدهم خشوعا قل ادعوا الله أو ادعوا الرحمن أيما تدعوا فله الأسماء الحسنى ولا تجهر بصلاتك ولا تخافت بها وابتغ بين ذلك سبيلا.
Jazakumullah ahsan to Hafez Ridwan Kahinda Mashood Sahib from Nigeria. Hafsab, if I can ask you for your comments and also what verses are you nominating for the next round for him?
MashaAllah, brother Rizwan Mashood Sahib has recited quite beautifully. I think he should pay more attention to Huruf al-Tafkhim, the thick sounding letter. And especially as the second point about the waqf. For example, in verse 111, there was a proper place to stop, and that make more meaningful, meanings are more clear and manifested. For example, Awidu ar-Rahman, and after that there is a ta, small ta, and that is waqf mutlaq, good stop, and meaning is quite clear. And then if they start ayyamma, the next, and then the meaning will be more clear, and a person who is listening, he could reflect what is going on. So, and also about the detached prolongation. For example, in verse number 108, I think that qablihi, that should be more prolonged, at least 4 counts. And as I mentioned, that huruf al-tafkhim like a ta and kha, wala to kha, and wabtaghi, a bit more thick.
Right.
And I'm going to give him Surah Luqman, verse number 34 and 35.
All right, there we go. Hafez Mashood Sahib, Ridwan Kahinda Mashood Sahib. The verses for you for next round you've just heard, so do make sure that you prepare. Next up, contestant number 5 of this semi-final is Hafez Osman Sahib from Ghana. Let's listen to his recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا وقرآنا فرقناه لتقرأه على الناس على مكث ونزلناه تنزيلا قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا.
Hafez Osman, Sahib from Ghana. If I can go to Hafez Shafuddin Sahib and ask you for your comments as well as to nominate a verse for the next round, please. Hafez
Shafuddin. MashaAllah, very wonderful recitation by my brother Hafez Osman. Jazahullahu khairah. I have a few comments that I think he should look at it in his next recitation. In the first verse, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا مُبَشِّرًا وَنَذِيرًا. The ra here supposed to be pronounced as a thin letter, ra, instead of ra. But my brother recited it mubashiran wa nadhira also, which is not correct. And the next comment is وَقُرْآنًا فَرَقْنَاهُ لِتَقْرَأَهُ. The qaf here, because of the sukun, is the sifa or the hukum there is qalqala. But my brother, instead of making it sukun, he pronounced it dhamma, لِتَقْرَأَهُ. لِتَقْرَأَهُ wrong, but لِتَقْرَأَهُ because it is sukun. And then the last one is إِنَّ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ إِذَا يُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ. Yutla, the word yutla, the ta here supposed to be pronounced ta, not seen. If we say yuts and the sound, we hear it as seen, that one too is wrong. So these are a few comments I think my brother should look at it if he should be, through next stage. And the verses that he will recite, I'm giving him, is taken from Surah Al-Hijr, verses number 88 to verses 90.
Surah
Inshallah. I
Al-Hijr,
wish him a
verses
good luck.
88 to 90. Jazakumullah Hafez Shafuddin Sahib from Ghana. And the final entry, contestant number 6, is from Zainul Imran Sahib from Indonesia. Let's listen to his recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا وقرآنا فرقناه لتقرأه على الناس على مكث ونزلناه تنزيلا قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا.
That was Zainul Imran Sahib from Indonesia. Jazakumullah Sanza. Hafez Tilawath Sahib in Canada, if I can ask you for your comments and also which verses are you nominating for Zainul Imran Sahib?
MashaAllah, again, wonderful voice and very solid command over his voice. There was just one place where he pronounced ta that sound like seen. So this is he should keep in mind that ta should be distinct from letters seen. I would request him to prepare verse number 1 to 8 of Surah Yasin.
Jazakumullah Sanza Hafez Tilawath Sahib in Canada. Now, thank you very much to our contestants and our judges here and around the world. With that, we conclude round 1 of today's semi-final, in which we just heard the contestants' pre-recorded entries. As you've just seen, they were on your screen. But it is now time to hear from our contestants live. The verses they have to recite were announced by the judges as we went through the first round, and we hope that they had enough time to prepare. In this second round, we wanted to see how good And I'm sure they are incredibly fantastic. Our contestants are with little preparation as possible. And with that, we're going to jump straight into it. We are going to maintain the same order as in the first round. So starting with Hafez Osman Sahib from Burkina Faso, who was asked to recite Surah Bani Israel verses 24 to 26. Hafez Sahib.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullah. Please start.
जी मैं शुरू करने लगा हूँ। أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا. إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما. واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا.
Jazakumullah Ahsan Hafez Osman Sahib. That's how quickly 3 minutes can go over. Hafez Sahib, if I can ask you to comment on Hafez Osman Sahib's recitation.
MashaAllah, Hafez Osman Sahib has recited very well live. On Sheen, Minash Shaitan Rajim, Sheen, when that is a mushaddad, that has the quality of tafashi, that the voice should spread. And also Ba, like for example, Bismillah, Ba is always muraqqaq, means thin, bis, like. And when Ar-Rajim, that is the sifat of Shaitan. And Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, that is the sifat of Allah the Exalted. So that is called Maddu Ta'zim. Because of the honor and the majesty of Allah the Exalted, Ar-Rahim should be more prolonged as compared to Ar-Rajim. If there is Ar-Rajim, because the grandeur, and this is the sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And also because where is the Madda, Al-Mad Al-Munfasil, like in verse number 24. So equal amount of elongation is required, because the two maddas are coming in succession. Good. And especially when there is a letter of tafkhim, like in the beginning of verse number 25, that should be properly manifested, the haruf tafkhim. Yeah. And the Rabbir Hamhuma, that ra, because before that there is a kasra, that would be a muraqqaq.
Jazakumullah Ahsan Hafez Sahib. Up next is Hafez Abdul Ahmad Sahib from Ghana. He was asked to prepare from Surah Hud, chapter 11, verses 115 to 116. Hafez Abdul Sahib, are you with us on the line? Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please, go ahead. 3 minutes start for you now.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وأقم الصلاة طرفي النهار وزلفا من الليل إن الحسنات يذهبن السيئات ذلك ذكرى للذاكرين. وأقم الصلاة طرفي النهار وزلفا من الليل إن الحسنات يذهبن السيئات ذلك ذكرى للذاكرين. واصبر فإن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين.
Jazakumullah ahsan jaza. That was our brother Hafez Samad Ahmad, Abdul Samad Boateng Sahib from Ghana. My apologies. Hafez Shafuddin Sahib in Ghana, can I ask you for your comments, please?
Jazakumullah ahsan al-jaza. My brother Hafiz Abdul Samad, mashallah, for the very wonderful recitation. I have only one comment in his recitation. In the word wasbir, the ra here is supposed to be pronounced bitarqiq, wasbir instead of wasbir, like he said, wasbir. That is the only comment I have. In his next recitation, wherever kasra comes before ra that has sukun, you should always pronounce it bitarqiq, wasbir, like Fir'aun and the rest. This is the comment I have.
Jazakumullah Hafez Shafuddin Sahib to Ghana. And up next is our brother Hassam Nageeb Sahib, all the way from Syria. He was asked to prepare Surah Al-Mu'minun, chapter 24, verses 1 to 7. Hassam Nageeb Sahib, assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So your 3 minutes start up right now. Please go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين
Jazakumullah Sanza, Hassam, Nageeb Sahib from Syria. Hafez Bahab Sahib in Canada. I know he did apply your comments from the first round, and there was a lot more melody in this one. What do you say?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, he has done great. And in terms of his makharij, the articulation of the letters, Arabic letters, he was wonderful. And also he observed all the rules of tajweed. So Alhamdulillah, he is improving.
Jazakumullah Sanza. Without further ado, Ridwan Kahim, the Mushood Sahib from Nigeria, is with us on the line. He was asked to prepare Surah Luqman verses 34 to 35. Assalamu alaikum, Ridwan Sahib. All right, Ridwan Sahib, we seem to have some issues connecting, but we're going to move on. And our next contestant is Hafez Osman Yeboah Sahib from Ghana. And Hafez Osman Sahib was requested to prepare Surah Al-Hijr verses 88 to 90. Assalamu alaikum. Hafez Osman Sahib. Hafez Osman Sahib, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hafez Sahib, please go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد آتيناك سبعا من المثاني والقرآن العظيم لا تمدن عينيك إلى ما متعنا به أزواجا منهم ولا تحزن عليهم واخفض جناحك للمؤمنين وقل إني أنا النذير المبين.
Wonderful. Jazakumullah Hafez. We're going to stay in Ghana, go to Hafez Shafuddin Sahib in our Ghana studios. Hafez Sahib, your comments.
Jazakumullah Ahsan al-Jaza. Wonderful recitation by my brother Uthman. Jazahullahu khaira. I have only two comments. That is the gunna in the noon, la tamuddanna. He has reduced the miqdar al-gunna. It's supposed to be not less than 2 seconds. La tamuddanna. And the same thing to waqul inni ana an-nadhir al-mubin. The inni, the gunna in the noon also, he has reduced it. Other than that, I think his recitation, Jazahullah, mashallah, he did well.
Jazakumullah Sanza. Next up, Ridwan Kahim, the Mushood Sahib from Nigeria. Let's see if he's on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Ridwan Sahib.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, please go ahead. Your 3 minutes start now.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم واخشوا يوما لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز
عن والده شيئا إن وعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور إن الله عنده علم الساعة وينزل الغيث.
Ridwan came this Sahib. Hafsab, I believe Ridwan Sahib read the
mashallah, very emphatically he has recited. Quite good. 3-4 points I like to mention. Other than Lamul Jalala, when that is a mushaddad, like for example, there should be a thin, not thick. So that was between Tafkhim and Tarqiq, in verse number 34. And also the word ad-dunya, always with izhar, without clear pronunciation, without any guna, not ad-dunya. It should be very clear because there are only 4 words in the Quran which should be with izhar within one word. And at the verse number 34 at the end, ra, the last letter is ra, and that is with dhamma. That must be with a mufakham, that is with tafkhim. And next verse on ilmu sa'a, sin, which be thin and should be in a whistling sound. There should a quality of safir, us, like that. Otherwise, it's quite good, mashallah.
So I think the reason why I asked, we showed the wrong slide and the wrong graphic on the screen, so I do apologize for that. And our next contestant, Zainul Imran Sahib from Indonesia. We asked him to prepare Surah Yasin, chapter 36, verses 1 to 8. Zainul Imran Sahib, Assalamu alaikum. So, go ahead, please start.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم لتنذر قوما ما آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون.
Jazakumullah Sanzal Zanumran Sahib. Hafez Wahab Sahib in Canada, can I ask you briefly, very quickly, for your comments, please?
MashaAllah, again, he has recited beautifully. Just one thing, and this is coming over and over again. The rules of Ra, they are a bit complicated, so it's difficult to explain here at this moment. But we must know where we have to pronounce it with tafkhim, with full mouth, and where we have to do tarqiq. So here also at one place, mursalin, it should be pronounced with tafkhim.
Jazakumullah Wahab Sahib in Canada. And now, in the meantime, we will collect the results. The judges have been marking as we go along, but there's a short video from Sierra Leone that we would like to show you. And after that, we'll come and announce the results. Please.
My name is Hafez Zafir Ahmad, and I am from Rabwa, Pakistan. I was the first Waqfina of my family, so it was my mother's wish that I go for the memorization of the Holy Qur'an. I got admission in Madrasatul Hifz Rabwa at the age of 11 years. In Madrasatul Hifz Rabwa, they have made a schedule for all the students. For first year it is different, for second year it is different, and for third year it is different. But if a person is good in memorization, he can go more than his routine. So I used to memorize someday one ruku or sometime more than one ruku, and in the last days we were even able to complete 1/4 of one part of the Holy Qur'an in one day. After one time completing the whole Holy Qur'an's memorization, 2 times we revised the whole Holy Qur'an to one teacher, and after that our test was taken by Hafez Ahmad Sahib in Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya, Pakistan. And after passing that test, we were declared a Hafiz-e-Qur'an. I completed my Hifz in 2 years and 8 months. And I'd like to mention the name of my teacher whose help was so much in that, Hafiz Malak Munawwar Ehsan Sahib. After completing the Hifz, I started the education, and it was a chance for me to choose between the religious education and the other education. So I asked one of my teachers, and he gave me a very beautiful advice that, my dear, you have done the memorization of the Holy Qur'an. So if you go Jamia, that would be so easy for you and useful for you in that life. So I took admission in Jamia Ahmadiyya and completed Jamia in 2016. And throughout the Jamia, I received so much blessings just because of the memorization of the Holy Qur'an. Before Jamia, I also had chance to lead Taraweeh prayers in some cities of Pakistan. In 2018, I was appointed in Sierra Leone as the teacher of Jamiatul Mubashirin. And here I received so much blessings and chances to teach the people the Holy Qur'an. And just because of the blessings of the Holy Qur'an, today I am the teacher of Jamia Ahmadiyya, Sierra Leone. And as I am a Hafiz, so I teach Nazra Qur'ani Kareem here and many other subjects. And all other subjects are just due to the blessings of the memorization of the Holy Qur'an.
Jazakumullah to the brothers from Sierra Leone for that video. And the results for today's semi-final are out. We have 3 winners: Hafez Abdul Samad Ahmad Boateng Sahib, Hafez Osman Yeboah Sahib, and Ridwan Kahinde Moshood Sahib. To all 3 of you, well done and congratulations for going through to the next round, the grand finale, which is going to be on the 13th of December. And also, for those who didn't make it, all I can say is that it was very close at this stage of the competition. May Allah reward you all for taking part. We're now going to quickly move on and come to the conclusion of today's program. The verses for next week, as you can probably see on your screens as well, are from Surah Saba, verses 34, verses 11 to 15. That's for the next week. So please prepare those for us and send it to us by Wednesday. Jazakumullah for watching today's program. As always, we will be back with you from next week again. Jazakumullah to the judges here and online as well. Hope you like this program as well as the extra content that we can put out on social media. Do make sure that you check that out. From all of us here, take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله